Uncle Kimokeo, thank you for joining us on the We Need Act podcast. It is a great pleasure to have you here with us. And to start our conversation, I would like to ask you for a general question. You know that our society is facing environmental crisis, from climate change to biodiversity loss, as a consequence of our disregard from Mother Nature. And people often talk about sustainability and more recently about regeneration. And in your view, what does it truly mean to be sustainable? And how do you envision a sustainable society?
I think I would like to take that question in parts. The first part is that you said that the humans, about what the biodiversity, could you say that again?
Yes, because I was mentioning about the two crises, environmental crisis we are facing, climate change to biodiversity loss, which is a kind of consequence.
Yeah. So I would like to reverse that to the humans mean the biodiversity loss,
Okay.
So I don't think the nature of biodiversity loss. I think it's the human, that impacts that to make the biodiversity loss.
True.
And your second part was, what do you think about sustainability? Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Well, in ancient time, we were self-sustainable. There was not a word about sustainability. So just imagine, Sarah, your great-grandma and your great-great-grandpa and your great-great-great-grandma and your great-great-great-grandpa go way back in times. They've never heard the sustainability word.
True.
Today, it's a word that's in our era, ERA, yeah? Yesterday, it was a living life of sustainability. They didn't talk about sustainability. They lived their life just being sustainable. So the word was not sustainable. It was just life. You get up and you just do what you have to do to be making sure your family was well. Today, we're in a period that we must learn how to be like your great-grandma and my great-grandma and my great-great-grandpa and my great-great-grandma. So yesterday was not a word of sustainability. Yesterday, the word was life. And today we have to learn how to be life. And we have to study nature and find out how we're going to do things to be sustainable. So sustainability is a way of learning today how to maintain, sustain, and gain part of nature, and how do you connect with nature and stay with nature. So sustainability is more than just a word. It's life.
Yeah, that's so true. We forgot to live and what life.
Well, we didn't forget to live. We just disregard how to live, And today we have, we have from ancient way of just walking around on the land and getting all the fruits and getting all your vegetable. And then later on, we caged it, fenced it. And today we're having it almost like a 4x4, 4 feet wide, 4 feet long, and try to grow our own green garden in our home, or just 1 feet wide, 1 feet long, and try to grow our garden right on the table and harvest our own vegetables from there. So we went from an open space life, and then we went to a caged life, and now we're down to the minimum way of being sustainable. But it's always been there for us, and we just need to make sure that we go back and look at ancient ways, not just Hawaiian ways.
Yeah.
It's called ancient ways all over the planet. So where you at now?
In Portugal.
Yeah, you're in Portugal. So I'm in Maui, Hawaii. So I'm going to share with you that that's the way of life, that whether you're in Portugal or whether you're in Maui, Hawaii, our ancestors, our great-grandfolks made it happen for all of us. And we need to go back and learn how to maintain and sustain the ancient knowledge of yesterday to be sustainable today.
So we can protect future generations also.
That's mostly important, yeah? The quality of life that we do today, we want to make sure that the quality of life of the children has it also. So it's more important ever today than it was before, because of the amount of land being used, not for agriculture, not for food, it's being used for commercialization. And, it's just the way it is. But we need to make sure that we take the space that we have and keep open space everywhere. In the mountain, in the farmland, close to the ocean, so we can be able to have a sustainability of what our ancestors used to have.
That's so true. Thank you. Well, you have been very close to the sea, a surfer, a canoe paddler, a fisherman, and your ancestors had also a deep connection to the ocean and recognize its vital role in maintaining the balance of life. Well, something that modern science is just beginning to fully understand. What can your culture teach us about the ocean and our relationship to it?
Yeah, I think, we need to refer to culture as inclusive culture, all cultures of the world. Because when you look at the Hawaiians and you look at the past of all the ancestors, they use the moon calendar. So the moon calendar will tell you what to grow, when to grow, what to harvest, when to harvest. So one of the sustainability facts that we forgot is by using the moon calendar. And the moon calendar has 30 days of phases within the moon. And it shows that when you have a sliver like we do right now, it's like a bowl. So if you turn it upside down and you look at the bowl and you look like a simple fact of a cereal and a milk. So if you keep on pouring the cereal and the milk, it gets to a half bowl and then it gets to a full bowl and it pours out. This means that you should not take no more. During the half moon and the process all the way to the full moon, you should not take no more. This is how the earth sustains itself. By the greatest delight of the greatest growth of all things, whether it's underwater, in the air, or on the land. The moon would have light during the night and the sun light during the day. So having 24 hours light gives an anaerobic life of everything to grow, and we should not take it during those times. So not only our culture, all cultures have that in the background, knowing that using the moon would be a way to gauge of what is taken from the sea, what is taken from the land, and what is taken from the heavens. So you need to maintain the moon calendar in your culture and making sure that when the moon is able to provide you, then you should be able to know when to provide and what to provide. So it'll tell you what plants, it'll tell you what fish, and it'll tell you everything. The moon calendar is about agriculture and about the ocean, and it's about spirit. There's the 3 phases of the moon.
That's so true. And I remember my grandfather had a calendar, a moon calendar, but nowadays people don't normally use moon calendars anymore.
No, and I think that a lot of things today, it's part of our responsibility to educate people. So I don't think that's a fault of anyone. I think it's the fault of all of us, making sure we educate people about that.
Yeah, that's so true. Thank you for that. And you have in your Hawaiian culture the concept of Kuleana, a word that carries the weight of responsibility, privilege, and stewardship. Can you share what does it mean and how it shapes the way you live and lead?
Yeah, Kuleana is it's really a word that's saying that, you're responsible for this, you're responsible for that. But it's really all of our responsibility, not just a particular person, And Kuleana is about action, taking action. So it's not about discussion and meeting of what. I would not work up and say that I'm responsible to be a farmer. I just go ahead and farm, So most of Kuleana is about action and results. So if you have a Kuleana, you have an action plan and you have results. So you have a results to take care of things in the forest, you have a result to take care of things in the farmland, and you have results to take care of things in the ocean. We call it Malka Makai, taking responsible for the mountain to the sea. And you should add that the Nakalani, which is the heaven, and the heaven will be making sure that growing all your plants that will give you some rainfall, Today, they're seeding the cloud to get rain. Yesterday, we used the forest connection with the heavens and the clouds to bring that rain down to your mountain and down to your farm and down to your ocean. So we look at Kuleana being responsible for the heaven, the land, and the ocean.
That's a great notion. I was thinking more of, I don't know if you probably know the 7th generation principle of the Indigenous people from North America.
Yes.
When we act, we have to think 7 generations ahead.
Exactly. So we look at the past for the future.
Okay.
Yeah. So that generation you're talking about is staying connected to what was and what is and what we're going to give our children for the future. So yesterday, they did what they're supposed to do. Today, we have the gift in our hand called Kuleana. And so how do we take this gift and pass it on to 4,000 years forward? So today is 2025, So what will it be at 2,425 or 2,625 or 2,825? And that only going to be by maintaining, sustaining, and gaining, being open space available in the mountain, in the farmland, and in the ocean.
That's true. And you are doing a great job. Well, you are doing a lot of great work with your foundation. Can you tell us more about it, its purpose, and some of the projects?
Kimokeo Foundation is really to perpetuate, to preserve, to educate the culture of our ancestors, and how do we maintain what we call the language of the Hawaiian people. And we have that going on for about 40 years now. We originally had that for life, but at one point we were told not to do this and not to do that. Today, thanks to many, many people who have fought for that, and so today we have our language. The secret in, like the Portuguese people, the language. The language is in the secret. So in our language, we'll be able to preserve the culture, we'll be able to preserve the farming, the fishing, all of that, even studying celestial navigation to the heavens. So in the language have all of this context that's there. So our foundation is not a typical school. So our foundation is a typical living lifestyle of a Hawaiian child, not necessarily by blood, just by people who live in Hawaii, all people. Portuguese people, Filipino people, Hawaiian, Chinese, Korean, to learn about the responsibility in the language and continue to preserve, perpetuate, and educate the Hawaiian language with culture and customs for tomorrow.
That's great. And you mentioned something related to you were told not to do this and that. And given the history of colonialization and cultural suppression, has the Hawaiian culture or society began to reconcile with the past? What does healing look like for your community?
Reconcile and healing, I wouldn't say that. We were already there, and we have what we call koko. We have the blood.
Okay.
We have the iwi. We have the bone. We have oi, which is the flesh. So we have that from our ancestors. So we never lost that. We were just marshaled or managed or told about it, but never lost it at all. The language was here. We just had to make sure that we bring it out and make it firm that we want language to be taught and freely taught. And we want the custom to be freely taught. So all of these things that we're told not to do was to make sure that the Hawaiian culture never exists. Unfortunately, all cultures exist within the blood, within the bone, and within the flesh. So you'll never take that away. And so we might say not reconcile, but we express our concerns and express that we're not going to listen to that. And we're going to just do exactly what we've done before. And that's what's happening. And we're very, very proud of what's not a revival, but the life that kept the Hawaiian culture and Hawaiian people.
Do you have the support you need to continue your work?
Well, you might say we have a little support, but we don't have 100% support because we're still managed or governed by certain things, So we're still, what you might say, battling for land ownership, still battling for some of the things that we feel that we should have and do as the Hawaiian people and the Hawaiian nation. So we have support here and there, but we would prefer them to come out freely supported without any questions or without writing a grant to get housing or without writing a grant to get funding for education, without writing a grant to get land to have an educational institution. So we still need to do a lot of that. So I would say that the support is there, but we need more support and continued support.
Can people support you at distance?
You can go to KimokeoFoundation.org and donate, and that will help support us to do all what I just said for you to do.
That's great. Thank you.
Yeah, KimokeoFoundation.org.
Great.
I would appreciate that very, very much.
Thank you so much. And I really love storytelling because my background is in communication, sustainability communication. And the storytelling is at the heart of Indigenous knowledge systems, Indigenous cultures. Would you be willing to share a short Hawaiian story with us? Perhaps something that carries some lesson memory that has meaning to you?
The memory to me was my uncle Kimokeo Kapahulehua. He was the first captain of Kuleana, which is a voyaging canoe that's going around Polynesian Voyage Society. He shared with me about the dog that's on the canoe and that how the dog was able to smell the poop of the bird of the land and smell the poop of the bird of the ocean and kind of give him the distance that he's away from the land. So this is a true story, Other stories is Pele, she's the fire goddess. When she erupted on the Big Island and wanted to know that there is a Kiwahini. Kiwahini is the goddess of the fish pond, and that's what we do in one of the Kimokeo Foundation is preserving local i'a, which is the ancient fish pond. And the Kiwahini, the goddess of the fish pond, was she able to go to another fish pond from island to island? And the story was that when the Mauna Kea volcano erupted on Hawaii, the bigger island, and if you go to the northeast side of Maui and put your hand down by this other place called Kanikawila, which is another special sacred place, and you felt the water of the ocean and it was warm. And so Kiwahini can travel from one level two to another level two from island to island and be the goddess of all the fish ponds in Hawaii.
Oh, that's so beautiful. Thank you for sharing those stories with us.
One more story.
Okay.
One more story. As I voyage up to, you can go out and people can view what's called Family of the Wa'a, WAA. It's on YouTube. And we voyage from what we call the larger of the island, which is Hawaii, better known as Mokukeawi, all the way up to Kuri, all of the Hawaiian islands, you know? And one of the stories that came to Uncle was that when she, Pele, formed all these islands from the beginning to now, she had two paddlers on her canoe that took her around to form the islands. One was called Ao, which is tide, and the one was called Holokai Ao, which is current. And these are how she was taken by the canoe by those people going from island to island to create that. Then she had a brother named Mokuha'ali'i, which is a big shark, and he guided her from place to place. But as the island was molting and as the island became softer, he bumped his head to the island and created what you call the water outlet from the mountain to the sea. So if it rained on the island, the water would go down from the top of the mountain, for watering the forest, watering the farmer, watering the fisherman, and the fresh water gets down and still water the ocean and have nutrient for the fish to live there. So this is called Waiolo Kane, water of life. We had four gods: Ku, the god of power; Kane, the god of water; Lono, the god of food; Kanaloa, the god of the sea. These are the stories of yesterday. Oh,
they are amazing. Thank you for sharing those stories with
You're
us.
welcome.
And they share a great connection with nature, our kin animals as our kin and not as our inferior. That's so beautiful. And I wanted to ask something. How do you feel when you go into the sea? In the morning when you wake up and you go paddle?
Often that we paddled early in the morning, as early as 4 and 5 a.m. And actually we go out to close the night and open the day. So we feel very, very, very blessed and very fortunate to have the people of the night and vision them before they open up the day. And we often go out in a celestial paddle in the full moon and just try to stay connected, what we call Napo'e Kalani, the people of the heaven. Napo'e Kamawana, the people of the sea. And as we leave, Napo'e Konua, the people of the land. They were here before us. So paddling out is just not a paddle. Paddling out is to stay connected with those people that makes us the most beautiful place that we call Mother Earth.
Oh, thank you. What a great inspiration. Thank you. This has been a really amazing conversation. I've learned several things with you in this short conversation. And I wanted to ask you something, like last question to wrap up. Do you have a final message to leave to our listeners? More like, how can we be good ancestors? Because we have been talking about ancestors and the role of our ancestors. How can we become more, good ancestors to the future generations?
Hemoku Kawa'a. There's an island in a canoe. E Kawa'a Hemoku. There's a canoe in an island. And that is Mother Earth. And how all of us can care for Mother Earth. We are one family. We are one canoe, and we only have one Mother Earth.
That's true.
There's an island in a canoe and a canoe in an island. She is Mother Earth, and we need to care for Mother Earth and stay connected and learn the signs of Mother Earth and cherish the signs she gave us, like the heavens, like a beautiful day, like the ocean, like the water, like the trees, like the birds, everything. When there's a birth of a child, there's a birth of a bird. When there's a birth of the child, there's a birth of another animal. When there's a birth of a child, there's not a birth of another tree. Hemoku kawa'a hemoku. An island in a canoe and a canoe in an island. It's Mother Earth. And we're all in that canoe. And we all need to take care of Mother Earth.
And we are all interconnected to one another.
Always. We are connected. We're connected by heaven. We're connected by the ocean. And we're connected by land. If you took Mother Earth and took her inside out, if you look at the umbilical cord of Mother Earth, we're all connected. We are one ohana. We are one family.
Here
anything's done anywhere else, we're one family.
Yes, around the world. Here in Portugal or in Hawaii, we are a family. Thank you. Thank you for joining.
You're so welcome.
Today.
Mahalo ke akua, mahalo na amakua, mahalo na kūpuna. Ikikai me ke aloha pumihana. With the greatest love of all, our ohana on Mother Earth.
Thank you so much. Aloha. Thank you so much for your time and for joining us today. It was a great pleasure to speaking with you.
Aloha.
Thank you.